The average boy first sees pornography at age 10. By 13, most are using it regularly. By the time he's old enough to propose to a woman, build something from scratch, or lead a family, his brain has been rewired to chase a screen instead of life. And here's what nobody's talking about. Video games are doing the exact same thing. Through the exact same door, same trap, different screen. Let me show you the data. And then I want to tell you what's actually at stake. Here's what neuroscience has figured out that most parents and pastors haven't caught up with yet. Pornography and video games don't just waste your time. They hijack your brain. They do it through the exact same pathway that cocaine does. It's called the dopamine reward system. Every time you consume porn, your brain gets a naturally large surge of dopamine, far more than anything in the real world produces. And over time, your brain starts to compensate. It downgrades the receptors. It needs more to feel anything until real life starts to feel like that. Boring, not worth pursuing. And video games are doing the exact same thing, just through a different drive. God wired men with a conquest drive, a build drive, a drive to provide. Video games give you a counterfeit version of all three with zero real world output. You level up, you win, your brain releases dopamine, but you haven't built anything. You haven't pursued anyone. You haven't done a single thing that will matter in 10 years. Here's the theological point. The enemy doesn't create new temptations. He counterfeits God's design. The drive for intimacy, porn hijacks it. The drive to conquer and build, video games hijacked it. Two God-given drives, two counterfeits. One generation going nowhere. Now let me show you what this looks like at scale. In 2023, one major porn site received over 2 billion visits in a single month. That's more than Instagram, Netflix, Pinterest, and TikTok combined. The average age of the first exposure is 10 years old. 67% of males aged 13 to 24 report using pornography regularly. 60% of Americans who view porn do at least several times a week. And by 2025, nearly 2/3 of young men supported restricting access to porn, up from 43% just 4 years earlier. Read that again. Young men, the ones who are using it, are raising their hand and saying something's wrong. Now onto video games. A Princeton and University of Chicago study found that working hours for men aged 21 through 30 fell 12% in just 15 years, while video game hours surged in the exact same window. 15% of young American men had not worked at all in the prior year. In 2000, that number was 8%. Men living with their parents averaged over 6 hours of video gaming per week, 3 times more than employed men living independently. And here's the part that should concern every parent. Young men who game instead of work actually report being happier. They don't feel the cost yet, but they will. Less experience, lower wages, less purpose for their entire life, all for a game that ended. Here's what I want you to understand about what this actually costs. It's not just a sex problem. It's not just a productivity problem. Neuroscientists can now measure a 10 to 12% reduction in brain gray matter from long-term pornography exposure. That's the part of your brain responsible for self-regulation, for motivation, for pursuing things that are hard and worth it. The man whose reward system has been rewired by a screen doesn't just struggle to pursue a real woman, he struggles to pursue anything, a business, a calling, a legacy. Real life starts to feel like it's not enough because the brain has been trained on something that was never real. I want to give you a historical illustration that hit me hard. George Washington, as a young man, channeled every ounce of ambition, his intelligence, his conquest into the real world, into surveying land, into military strategy, into building a nation. What if Halo had existed? What if every night, instead of developing himself, he was in his bedroom running fake missions on a fake battlefield? We may have never met him. And here's the personal version of that question. You may have never met your wife if the man who was supposed to pursue her was distracted by a screen. Your children may never exist if the man who was supposed to build a home was busy building a fake world instead. I want to say something to you directly. The enemy doesn't attack weak men. He attacks men with potential. A godly man who marries one woman, works hard, raises his children in the faith, serves in the church, and leaves a legacy is the single greatest threat to the kingdom of hell on the earth. That is why these two traps are precisely engineered. Porn kills the drive to pursue a real woman. Video games kill the drive to build a real life. It is not random. It is targeted, and you are the target. not because of your weakness, but because of your potential. Satan has met 1,000 guys just like you. The enemy knows what you're capable of, and the question is, do you? You don't drift into a great legacy, you build it, or you don't. The choices you make at 16, 20, 25, those are the chains or the crowns for your grandchildren. Get off the screen, get into the real world, pursue a real woman, and build something that will outlast you. 600 years from now, there will be a man with your last name who calls on the name of the Lord because you made that decision today. And as young men, that's what we need to strive for. We cannot just be trying to level up in a video game. We need to level up our legacy over the next 100 years. And it starts with some hard decisions that you got to make. Unplug the video game console, throw it away. Make the hard decision. Lock your phone out. Sign up for the accountability app that sends a notification to someone else. Do whatever it takes to get yourself out of this ditch and become the man that your grandkids will look up to.